Welcome back, fellas, to another MLB video, and today we're going over a very important video as we're ranking each and every team affinity player that you can get for absolutely free just by playing the game, all 85 overalls that go into your lineups. I've ranked all of them. There's 30 of them. There's one for each team. As you can see, the affinity program, there's one for each single squadron. You go to the team, you go to your journey, you can unlock an 86 overall for each team, and I've ranked all 30 of them. So we're gonna go down, waste no time, go into each one, why I think they're where they're ranked. And I know some people are gonna be upset about, oh, my favorite team's players here, whatnot, but I think overall I did a pretty good job here of narrowing down the best guys. And again, you guys can let me know if you guys are having really big success with one guy, you're not being success. I haven't played with all 30 of these guys. I'm basing this off of their quirks, their attributes, where their swings at have been in the past, whether I've liked them or I've hated them in the past, because a lot of these players I've used in past games, and I know their swings, I know their releases, I know how they normally pitch and whatnot. So I'm basing it all off that knowledge based on these players. And some of them I've used. I've used Kyle Schwarber. I've used a few of these guys in the and already, Alfonso, Soriano, Babe Ruth, and a few others. So I've definitely used a few. So I can give those ones pretty good rundowns. But for the most part, it's going to be mainly off like stats and whatnot. But let's waste no time and hop straight into it. Starting at number 30, my least favorite player. The guy's just the worst. Is going to be this Andrew Miller. Andrew Miller from the Guardians. I'm sorry if you're a Guardians fan. You get to use Jose Ramirez, so now they have to nerf you by giving you Andrew Miller. He's not awful. 6'7", obviously great frame, lefty thrower from the pen. But he only has the slider, fastball, sinker, and they're the same speed. And the slider isn't even a full 10-mile-an-hour difference. I get the pitching clutch is really high, but his walks per nine is pretty low. His control is not very high. He has no real big quirks. I just don't see him being a game breaker. I mean, the 99 break is great, but it doesn't really matter when you only have 3 pitches on, and one of them is a fastball. So he's just on the bottom of my list. I don't really have to go too far into it. I feel like he's just not very good compared to these other players. The second one is going to be an interesting one because there's going to be a lot of controversy, and that's going to be Max Muncy for me. The reason I picked Max Muncy is because his contact, his vision, and his clutch are so unbelievably low that if you're playing on anything higher than All-Star, you are damn near not going to be able to use this card. Unless you're super cracked at this video game. Unless you are super cracked, which I'm making this video for the majority of people. You're probably not in the 1% of people that can use Max Muncy on Legend and have success with him, because he's 45 contact left, 72 contact right, which is doable. 72 is not bad. Great power, obviously fantastic power that if you hit the ball, that's awesome. But his vision is also 50, so you're not going to be getting foul balls that you want. His fielding is all right. I get that, but his just contact in general is so bad for me that I can't put him on. He doesn't have any really good quirks, doesn't have dead red, doesn't have breaking ball hitter, so I'm sadly just going to have to keep him lower on this list. I know some people will find success with him, some people will love him. If you're playing on a lower difficulty, he's definitely going to be higher on this list than you. I'm probably going to be playing most of my games on Hall of Fame, so for me, Max Muncy is just going to be not that high on the list for me. My next player is going to be Joe Musgrove. Again, there's no real huge knocks on him. It's just he doesn't do anything spectacular. Obviously, a little bit of a 10-mile-an-hour difference between the curveball and fastball. Sweeper's all right. I like the sweeper this year, but it's nothing really that's going to take him to the next level. There's no real big quirks on him. His release is always all right, but he's pretty easy to hit. I've never had trouble hitting a Joe Musgrove in the past, so I've just kind of keep him here as just like he's an average pitcher. If you are a Padres fan, it's fine, but he's not going to really elevate your team, and he's not going to be making my starting lineup in almost any regard this season. The next player I have is another controversial one. As again, he was a big reward last year, and some people love him, and that's going to be George Brett for the Kansas City Royals. I did not like his swing last year, and it's the same swing as it was last year. His quirks are great. Dead red, breaking ball hitter, sure, has great stuff there. Can play third base at a decent level. I wouldn't really rely on him there. Power is very lackluster. He's going to be more of a contact hitter that you're going to have to rely on. Just nothing that really blows me away. This is more for me. Just I don't like his swing at all. He never really was able to hit nukes for me. It was always line outs and line drives. And I couldn't really get the ball in the air too much with him. So that's just, again, my personal opinion here. I don't love George Brett's swing, so I'm going to keep him lower on this list. As well as there's a ton of lefties so far this season that I've found that I feel like I have so many lefties in my lineup. I don't need to add another one here for someone that's just going to line out a million times like George Brett. The next player I have is going to be Hank Thompson. Where is he? There he is for the Giants. Hank Thompson, the one thing that he does have is he can play a lot of positions. Second base, left field, or right field, third base. His fielding is fantastic, so we love that. 73 speed is great over there. 5'9", so strike zone is just smaller, so you have to make sure you're good with that. I know some people hate playing with shorter players, some people hate playing with super tall players, so you got to adjust to there. But his contact's just mid. His hitting overall is just very mid. Clutch is all right at 75. Power is lackluster at 62 and 70. 61 contact left is just not really going to get it done there. Batting left, so lefty is going to be damn near impossible. Can't really bunt either. Discipline's all right. Doesn't come with any crazy quirks either. Just dead red really is the only big one there. Situational hitters all right, can be useful, but for the most part, dead red's going to be the only one we're really looking at. So we're going to rock with Hank Thompson there as our 26 spot. So again, if you really like Hank Thompson, sure, use him, but I just don't think he's really anything spectacular that you need to rush into your lineups. Then we're going to have Cal Ripken's going to be our next player here. Another player that has a very questionable swing. Some people like it, some people hate it. I'm not the biggest fan of him. He's a bigger body, 6'4", so again, that strike zone is just a little bit big. Fielding's fantastic. You can play him anywhere on the field, sure, but he's not fast enough, really. 58 speed's not going to really do that much service when there's a ton of shortstops, so that I think are just better in the game right now. His power is very lackluster with 54 power left, 68 power right with all right contact. 81 contact's not bad. His batting clutch is great at 97. Discipline's all right, but there's just not really too much here for me with the low speed. At a shortstop position that is already overly crowded, and he has no secondary position. Great with dead red, great situation, first pitch hitter, sure. But I just don't think he's really getting me anything done here at a very crowded position at the shortstop that is going to boost him up anything higher than the 25 spot. Andrew McCutchen is going to be the next one here for the Pirates. 85 overall here, 5'10" in the height, so again, a smaller player. I really like Andrew McCutchen's swing, though, which keeps him a little bit higher on this list, but I wish his stats were just better. 58 speed's not going to get it done in the right field this year with only 60 fielding. He's going to get horrible jumps, so he's not going to be really able to be used in right field efficiently. You can put him out there, but it's just going to be a lot of really annoying bad jumps to bad balls, a lot of shots in the gap that you can't get to, but he's good contact, good hitter. 85 contact, 78 contact gets the job done with 83 power, 85 power left gets the job done. A good, nice swing with 83 clutch, high discipline, decent vision to knock off some pitches. So again, great player, just the corks really aren't there for me, so I'm going to have to keep him lower on this list. Great swing, and his fielding just stinks, so he's going to fit here nicely at the 24 spot. Can't really put him anymore too higher, and I would feel comfortable with that. The next one's going to be a very controversial one, because some people love Frank Thomas. I don't love Frank Thomas's swing and his 6'5" build. I don't do well with super big strike zones. Anything 6'5" plus, I'm like, I could probably do without. He has to be damn near a DH. Obviously, you could play him at first base, but his fielding is horrible. So if you throw any yellows, he's not going to catch it. Obviously, his contact's solid at 82, 80. Power isn't anything great, as his power right is only 74 and his power left's only 92 or only 96. Like, I feel like there's other guys that are higher on this list that I'd rather take a bigger swing on, that I just have better attributes there. Obviously, he's solid corks with dead red and breaking ball hitter, bad hitter situation. So he has all the corks you need. But I feel like his stats are just a little bit lackluster with only 67 clutch as well from the contact department, and a little bit on the power department for being such a tanky, like, DH style build. Our next player is going to be Matt Halladay. He's going to be here for the A's. Where's Matt Halladay? Matt Halladay, I'm a little bit higher on him than I think a lot of people are. Some people have him pretty low on this list. But again, the contact raises it for me. One-on-one contact is so valuable right now in the game where a lot of people don't even have 80 contact. 87 contact left, solid, a little bit of power with 74, but very lackluster on the power left at 57. The thing that kind of holds him back for me in this sense is his 50 speed at left field is just so damn slow. His fielding is all right at 75, so we won't have the worst jumps in the world. But 50 speed is just horrendous. As well as he is solid corks, dead red, breaking ball hitter, so we love to see those two. But again, just the 50 speed in left field, you'd probably want to use him as a DH, but he's still not good enough to be a DH with the lackluster power. The all right clutch at 83. It's just... he just isn't great. Like, he's just all right. Like, I wouldn't use him over a lot of the cards that you get for free in the pipeline right now. Just with the slow speed out there in left field. I don't personally like putting anyone in the left field or outfield right now, especially with how bad the jumps are in this game. That is anywhere slower than 60 speed. So 50 speed is just a little bit far off for me. So I'm going to put him here at 22. But again, solid hitting stats. Can't complain. Great corks. My next player is going to be a man that hits a little close to home. Is why I have Rollie Halladay, my Blue Jays GOAT. Great pitch mix. I like the way he releases. He's pretty hard to hit. Good stamina, obviously. So he lasts for a while. Pause. But his Ks per 9 are just too low, along with his hits per 9 are just simply too low for me to put him any higher on this list. He also just doesn't really have any corks that would make me feel fantastic. Break outlier is all right, but it doesn't really move the needle for me. His velocity at 98 is solid. His break at 99 is great. Again, solid pitch mix, so I really can't complain. Just not enough differential there between the cutter, sinker, and fastball for me to really put him any higher on this list, so he's going to sit here a nice 21. Then we head to our yellow tier, which is like our middle tier, anywhere from 20 to 11. These are guys that you definitely can put in your lineup if you're more just favorite to them. But again, you don't really have to, as they're not going to be game-breaking players or must-use players in this lineup. So next one's going to be Bobby Grich for the Angels. He's a solid second baseman. Again, he gets the second baseman bump, as we'll see some more second basemen here in a little bit, as there's not as many good second basemen in the game right now, so he gets kind of that bump to where he's a little bit more valuable. His hitting is great. 83 contact, 98 contact, 83 power, 72 power can get the job done enough. The only real question mark is he has 63 clutch, which stinks anytime you have a player on second base. His bunting's actually surprisingly good, and fielding's great at 83. 63 speed can get the job done all right at second. I would like to see what his swing looks like. Obviously, he's dead red, no breaking ball hitter, but we can get the job done there. Just an overall solid card to here for a 20. I really don't have any too big of complaints for Bobby Grich. The next player we have is Biggio, obviously a catcher, so a little bit more niche of a position too. So if you don't really have a great catcher right now, you could plug him in and feel pretty good. Biggio has all right stats, just his power is horrible on the left side. 75, 85 contact gets the job done, but 71 power and 43 power is horrendous. He's also clutched at only 70 with no power. Just doesn't really float your boat. 88 speed, though, at the catcher position is fantastic. His fielding is all right at 60. Just doesn't really move the needle for me much. The only real reason why he's here is because he's a niche position at catcher, which can definitely be harder to come by. Plus, he's dead red, breaking ball hitter, first pitch hitter, and a few others that make him a lot better. And again, he can play left field, center field, so he has secondary position as well. I would never play him there, but you can play him there if need be. And just a solid overall catcher if you need it. His swing is also normally not bad either, so I don't mind his swing. Then at 18, we have Kinsler. Really just what holds this card back is his fielding. 92 speed is fantastic, but you kind of have to use him at the DH spot. 125 clutch is his main thing here. 105 contact right, fantastic. Paired with 51 power right, he's not going to be hitting anything past the wall, but he will get you a lot of singles, doubles, and dink hits. With 125 contact, with 125 clutch, that feels fantastic. And 92 speed, he's going to do really well. But you're going to have to use him at the DH spot because you can't use him at second base with 53 fielding. It just would end very badly. Then our next player is going to be a player that I know some people like a little bit more than I do, and that's going to be Babe Ruth here. He just has to be a first baseman, and with the first baseman, he gets knocked on the fielding, and then it's just bad. So then you're going to be knocked down to like 52 fielding, which just probably won't get it done for even first base. So then he turns into, well, you have to use him as a DH. 36 speed, so you definitely can't use him in the outfield. Again, the discipline's great. The clutch is all right at 72. Great power right. Great contact left. All right contact at 78. Gets the job done with 83 power left. That's a decent swing. So again, great there. The corks are fantastic as well as they always are with unfazed. No breaking ball hitter. So that does knock him a little bit, but nothing too crazy. He's just an overall great hitter. But again, we have such a high plethora of DHs that I just can't justify putting him insanely high on this list. Our next player is going to be a player that gets a little bit of a position bump here, and that's going to be Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench for the Reds. Again, he can play first base, can play right field, can play left field, but I wouldn't play him anywhere around there with 40 speed. First base would be the only one I'd think about. But if you have a catcher with great fielding like he does, there's not many in the game right now. So to be able to get a catcher with some of these quirks as well as great fielding feels a pretty good steal here, and slides nicely into the 16 slot. Just again, his clutch at 48 really holds him back there, as I would never want him to be in the batter's box with a man on second. I would feel naked with a 48 clutch. So again, no vision to really knock any foul balls off either. No discipline, no power. Just an all right contact hitter with great fielding at the catcher position, which again has a little bit of a value bump there. Now we have two pitchers back to back here, but I have Tom Glavine as the next one. Just a lefty pitcher with a sweeping curve. Again, decent differentials with an 85 slider, 94 fastball, then a 74 sweeping curve. So again, a good pitch mix that I like. Lefty has a pretty good release. Normally it's not the easiest to hit off Tom Glavine. Has all right corks, nothing really crazy there. It's going to really boost you at all. But again, great stamina, solid 8 home runs per 9. The only thing I would do is pitching clutch is only 73, so that kind of stinks. His all right hits per 9, bad Ks per 9. Break at 93, you like to see. 83 velocity, obviously he's not going to be a velocity pitcher, so you're not really looking for that. But again, the only thing I would really be worried about is probably the pitching clutch and Ks per 9. Outside of that, he's a solid pitcher with a solid pitch mix. And a good lefty arm to throw in your starting lineup. The next player we have is going to be Jim Kaat. Again, lefty, another lefty pitcher. Slider, curveball, sinker, slur. I love slur, but he also has a screwball, which makes him a little bit more unique than the other pitchers. Obviously, his hits per 9 isn't as good. Ks per 9 is about the same, and control is only 75, but his all right velocity, 89, 93 breaks, so kind of the same thing as Tom Glavine there. With solid walks per 9, home runs per 9, the same thing. Solid corks as well. But again, just adding the screwball in there is another factor that just makes me want to use him a little bit more. Screwballs are really hard to hit. Slurves are really hard to hit, especially when you pair them with a curveball. Obviously, he's a great sinker with 93. Great differentials between 83, 93, 87, and 73. So again, he should be a really good pitcher for you. 6'4", big body, in a good lefty arm. Then at 13, we're going to have Todd Helton from the Rockies. Obviously, Todd Helton's always had a great swing, so he's a little bit higher on this list for me. Lefty bat, 6'2", so a solid frame. 97 contact to 84 contact. That's very good for Todd Helton. Then the power obviously is a little bit lackluster there for the left side. 73 is doable on the right side, but nothing fantastic there. The clutch is a little bit holder. The clutch holds you back a little bit with it only being 78, but he's a solid fielder. First baseman that you can rely on. It's great contact. Again, the corks are there with a breaking ball. Dead red, good swing as well. So just an overall solid first baseman that you can rely on to have you knock in a few runners. So I'm not really going to knock him too much here. I really like him to fall into our top 13. Our next player is going to be Jim Edmonds. I like Jim Edmonds a lot. Lefty bat, 6'1", so he is solid height. The 54 speed is low. It is low, especially be at center field, but he's 87 fielding, so that does make up for a lot of it. He has great jumps with 87 fielding and 86 acceleration. The 54 speed won't be absolutely killer out there, and I think his power left and power right make up for with 93 and 105. The only question mark he really has is contact left. So if you need to switch out, what I would do is pretty much just bring a platoon bat in for Jim Edmonds, where if you're facing a lefty, you sub him out for a better center fielder that can rock lefties, because he's not going to do lefty very well. Against righties, he rakes. 80 contact, 93 power is great. Again, great fielding as well. His pitching, his hitter clutch at only 43 though is quite horrendous. So again, just a card that kind of feeds off of him playing good defense, and defense I value really high in this game, as well as he has some great corks. But Jim Edmonds is going to slide into our 12 spot here. Then we have Alfonso Soriano at our 11th spot. And from the top 11 up, pretty much all these guys can be in your lineup. Alfonso's a pretty good player. You can play him at second base as well, and he still will have good fielding, but he's solid speed at 76, so he definitely can play your left field for you as well there. 81 contact, 61 contact left isn't desirable. His power isn't fantastic, but his power left makes up for his bad contact, as well as his contact right makes up for his bad power right. His batting clutch is quite horrendous at 60, but again, it doesn't knock him too much because he has great fielding. He also has great corks. Dead red, bad ball hitter. He doesn't have breaking ball, which is not going to be the game breaker for him. As we all know, Alfonso has a great swing, so I'm not really going to be too mad about it. A great swing player with good fielding, solid speed all around, and decent hitting stats. I'm not going to be mad. He's going to fall into my number 11 spot. Then for the start, our top 10, Preston Wilson is going to make our top 10, as he has solid speed at 79, good fielding at its 79 and a silver shield. And then the only question really would be his clutch at 55, but outside of that, 86 contact right gets it done versus righties with 73 power. That's good enough. 59 contact left isn't good, but the power left at 70 can kind of do a little bit of damage as long as you make some contact with it. So again, he's not going to be a great bat for you, but he's going to be a great center fielder for you. Solid speed, especially when you parallel him one, you get him up to 80 speed as well, and you love to see anyone over 80 speed in your outfield. So again, just great defense. Solid player all around, has dead red as well, so hopefully he'll be able to knock some of those fastballs down. Again, the really only question mark he has is his contact left and his clutch at 55. Outside of those two stats, I feel like he's a very good bat, and I would not mind having Preston Smith in my center field. The next player I'm going to have is a player that a lot of people seem to like, and I really like. His swing is great. He's a great player. That's going to be James Wood. Obviously 6'7". I don't love 6'7" personally, but you can't deny he's a great player. 83 speed in the outfield makes up for his 65 fielding. His clutch is 83, so that's fantastic. His power left is the only thing that's really concerning. Outside of that, 81, 83, 86 with good speed. Outside of that, he does not have any corks. That is one knock on him, but I think his swing makes up for it. He's a fantastic swing, so we'd love to see him out there. Again, 6'7", so it's a little bit big of a strike zone, but if you can handle it, this card is going to play great for you. Great speed at that height, just feels fantastic, especially in your left field. Having the size there is great as well. And again, his swing is butter. So if you can hit with his swing, you can definitely nuke some balls out there with the 81 power. Coming out our number 8 spot, we do have a pitcher, and that's gonna be Jackson Jobe. He had a really good card last year that I liked, and I feel like did pretty well. Again, 97 miles per hour fastball, good cutter, circle into a sweeper at 76, so good differentials there. And then again, his stats are great. Hits per 9 is 96, so you love to see that. The only thing that's bad is his walks per 9. But his control is 75, so I don't think it's going to be the end of the world. Pitching clutch is also 99 as well, with 90 break and 86 velo. So he's going to have decent stats all around. And again, he's a solid righty to have. Obviously, he doesn't have any corks, as he's a young player, as most of these young players don't. But again, pitch mix and overall stats just definitely make up for it. And I think he's going to be a really good pitcher for you if you put him into your lineup and you don't really have to stress about it. Our next player is going to be Rollie Fingers. Rollie Fingers is a great just guy to have in the pen. I think he's going to be he is a solid release as normal, but he's a solid fastball, sinker, slider, forkball. Forkball is disgusting every single year. It's really a bitch to play against. Plus, he's 111 pitching clutch. So solid hits per 9, solid Ks per 9, solid walks per 9, solid home runs per 9, great or solid control. All right velo with a great break and great pitching clutch. Just all around solid stats with solid corks and his solid pitch mix as well with a good release. I just feel like there's nothing you can really say wrong about Rollie. He's just an overall great card to just have in your bullpen, which you can always be bolstering up. Our next player, we're going to have a starting pitcher, and that's going to be Clay Buchholz. I think Buchholz is going to be a solid pitcher for anybody that starts him. Again, he's only 25, so he doesn't have really many of the corks to rock out with, but his stats are great. The only things that are low are his walks per 9 and Ks per 9, which I think you can get over when he has a 114 pitching clutch, solid home runs per 9, solid hits per 9, great velo, great break with a fantastic mix of sinker, fastball, circle change, cutter, curveball. That is just you can't ask for much better than that mix. Maybe if you would have like a forkball or something crazy to throw in there, but for the most part, this is very stable. 78 with the curveball, up to 94 with the sinker and fastball, as well as the cutters there at 90. You love to add a cutter in whenever you can. So I think he's gonna be a really good pitcher. Again, 6'3" righty pitcher to add in as one of your starting pitchers. I think he has a great mix, solid stats all around with fantastic pitching clutch. I think he can be a really good pitcher for you here in MLB The Show 25. Now we're gonna be cracking in our top 5, and we're gonna start our top 5 with the main man himself, John Franco. John Franco for the Mets is gonna be a great closing pitcher for you. His screwball at 73 miles per hour is disgusting every single year. He's a lefty pitcher with a sinker, slider, screwball, fastball. Great pitching clutch at 112 as well. Solid stats all around. The only thing he doesn't have is velocity, but again, he's not a velocity pitcher, so that doesn't fucking matter. This is a fantastic card. He could be anywhere in the top 5, and I wouldn't be mad, but he is going to sit here in my 5. He's just Great closer. You don't need anything better than him. John Franco can play for you for a while in this game, and you don't have to think twice about it. Our next player is going to be a hitter. He's going to be a first baseman, and I kind of really like him. It's going to be Richie Sexson. Obviously, a solid swing out of him from what I heard. I've not used him yet myself, but again, solid fielding at 61 for a first baseman. That's really all you need. Great contact left at 103 with great power left and power right. The contact right's a little bit lackluster, but his pitching clutch is, but his batting clutch is 93, which makes up for it. This is a very, very, very good card. His stats are fantastic. The only knock you really have is his contact right and his vision. Vision isn't the end of the world, but he is dead red, rally monkey. If he had breaking ball hitter, he probably would be damn near #1 on this list. His stats are fantastic. He's 6'8", though. So again, you have to manage the bigger strike zone. If you can manage it, there's no reason in the world why he can't be elite for you. And 6'8" at first base is great if you fuck up a pitch. Or great if you fuck up a throw to first. Next player is going to be a player I'm really excited to use myself, and that's going to be Junior. Where the hell is Junior Caminero? Caminero. Junior Caminero. I don't know why I struggle to say that so much. It is literally 4 in the morning. So Junior Caminero, right? Great third baseman that you can have. Again, a position where there's solid volume, but nothing like too crazy like shortstop or some other places. But third base is a solid spot to have. Great contact left. 107 contact left. 92 power left. If you face a lefty with Junior, he's raking. Plus, his clutch is all right at 74. Definitely doable. Nothing too crazy there. Discipline's a little bit low, but again, makes up for it in other areas. Contact right, power right is doable with 71, 79. Solid fielding all around with an 82 arm from third base. That's really what you look for at third. Nothing really too much else. With 65 fielding, gets the job done. He doesn't need speed at third base. Just an overall great card that I hear great things about. The only thing he doesn't have corks, but I hear he has a butter swing. So if his swing is as good as what I'm hearing about, then again, with that contact left, he can crush any lefty in this goddamn ball game. He could be a great platoon bat as well, but I would feel very comfortable rolling him out at third with the 82 arm, with a solid contact versus left, and the hitting just versus lefties in general, with all right power versus righties, and I'd feel fantastic about rolling him out if he has a butter swing like everyone says he does. Our second player is going to be no surprise. He's just a guy that you can go to game in and game out. That's going to be Kyle Schwarber as your DH. There's no better DH, really. Well, there are better DHs in this game, but there's not many better than Kyle Schwarber. His swing is so elite. He is breaking ball hitter, rally monkey, bad ball hitter. The only thing he doesn't have is dead red, which does suck. But you can make up for it with his just absolute cash swing. And again, he's not going to need the fielding because he's going to be a DH every time. Solid clutch at 77. Great discipline and elite power at 115. 105. Solid contact left with 80. An alright doable. Can get you by contact at 62 on the right side there for Kyle Schwarber. Just an absolute unit every single time he steps on. We played with him in co-op a few days ago, about 2 days ago, and he just rakes, dude. And he's so scary. People pitch around him too. Yeah, he's just an elite card. Butter swing, great stats, elite power. He deserves to be up there very high. And my #1 player is going to be the Diamondbacks reliever, Justin Martinez. Young cat. Not many corks, but a fantastic pitch mix with sinker, slider, splitter, fastball, and outlier. Outlier pitcher is really hard to come by in the game right now. The fact that you can get an 85 overall outlier pitcher for free feels fantastic. Elite velo, solid break at 88. The only thing he has is walks per nine and control. If you can control this motherfucker, you will be golden. A sinker, slider, splitter. A splitter is a bitch to hit. I get it's still 90, so again, the speed difference isn't really there. But a splitter is still a bitch to hit. He's a reliever pitcher, so he's not like a starter that needs a huge difference there. The sinker and outlier fastball is just a disgusting combo. Add in the splitter there as well and a solid slider going left to right. Great hits per nine, great Ks per nine, great velo, great break, great home runs per nine, good pitching clutch. You don't need much more than this for the kid. So I think he's going to continue to crush for anyone that puts him in his lineup, puts him in your lineup. Yeah, he's just a great card. And I just look at him and I'm like, damn, I need him on my lineup ASAP. So he's definitely going to go in my pen. Let me know what your guys' list in. If you guys have guys higher, if you have guys lower. Obviously, everyone's list is going to look a little bit different, but this is my top 30 in order team affinity players or team Jolt players, mind you, in that order. Plus, if you collect 15, let me get a voucher. So, and they're free cards. These are free cards, guys. Every one of these are free. You can't go wrong with getting free cards. Even if you take Andrew Miller, who's my last player ranked, he's still a free card. So again, if you want to take Andrew Miller at the end of my list, he still can be decent for you. He's absolutely free to use, so you can dish him at any time. You can get rid of him at any time. And it's no worry because you got him for absolutely free. Just a little bit of grinding is all it takes. If you guys like these sort of videos, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to leave a comment down below. Make sure to show your support by subscribing. I love doing these types of videos, and we're going to be putting out MLB content almost every single day. So we're going live damn near every single day in MLB The Show 25. So make sure you like, subscribe, also to punch it down below, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.